Yo, what's up? Brad Martineau here, and welcome to another episode of Word of the Week Wednesdays. Today we're going to talk about money. There's lots of different directions we can go with money, but I got three specific elements I want to look at. Before we dive into that, though, if this happens to be your first episode of Word of the Week Wednesday, basically what this is we pick a word and we look at it and we say, what does that actually mean? And we try to look at some different perspectives to see if we can't enhance our understanding of what that word can mean, so that in future conversations, whether it's with another person or whether we're just thinking to ourselves, we can recognize the nuances of words and be more clear when we use a word on specifically like which meaning are we trying to pack into that word. There's a link in the description somewhere to the very first episode where I give a little more backstory about the whole idea with Word of the Week Wednesdays, why it's important. Feel free to go check that out if you want. But for now, we are going to jump back into the word of this week, which is money. Now, like I said, lots of places we can go, but I really want to look at three different angles. I want to look at one, oftentimes, not with every time, but oftentimes the head trash that comes with potentially and actually making lots of money. Number two, I want to talk about a concept that I picked up from a buddy of mine recently, Taki, where he talked about giving me a new lens to look at money in terms of how I would spend it once I have it. And then the last thing I want to talk about is money as it relates to peace of mind. And a couple lessons that I've learned for me, right? Okay, so first let's talk about money and potentially the head trash that comes with making a lot of it and or the potential of making a lot of it. I've had this conversation with a lot of entrepreneurs. I've had this conversation with myself a lot where I had this head trash around the amount of money that I would make and whether it was okay and like all the stuff that comes with it. So if you're like, that's not me, then just skip ahead to the next section of this video. If you at all have struggled with that, then this might be helpful for you. The biggest lens shift, I was in a mastermind, it was a Joe Polish Genius Network mastermind. There's a guy there, a good buddy of mine, his name's Kevin Donahue, and he said, look, I think of money like thank you notes. People give me money as a thank you note for me delivering a thing, a product, a service, or a program that delivers value to them, hopefully wrapped in a really cool experience so I get to have fun with it as well. But it's a thank you note. And so wouldn't I want a lot of those? Isn't that the goal? And that was a complete reframe for me because I was looking at earning money through the lens of me and like my selfishness rather than looking at it through the lens of it's something that people will happily give me if I am in exchange giving them value. Okay. Now, we'll go to the drawing board real quick. One other concept that is I kind of joke around about this, but it's also true, but it has some humor elements to it, is I have this, like, there's a spectrum of entrepreneurship and being in a business, right? So let's just say we're here. And over here is where you make very little money because you don't take it or you don't charge very much, but you deliver a ton of value. And I say, if that's you, you're a charity. We don't want to be that, right? Not if we're trying to be in business. If we're trying to be a charity, be a charity. And then on this side, way over here, we have, I make a lot of money, but I deliver very little value. This is called a fraud, all right? So we don't really want to be a fraud or a charity. Right here in the middle, where we capture the appropriate amount of money for the appropriate amount of value, this is called a business. Now, the goal in business, okay, the goal in business is to make this transaction happen. Over here, there are people. I'm just going to draw one of them, but imagine a bunch of people. They have a pain, a problem. They have a desire to fix it. That's an important piece. And they also have money that they can pay to fix it. Over here is you. You have a thing. That thing delivers value, the value that those people want, and that thing is wrapped in an experience. Value and experience are not the same thing. That's a conversation for another day. The transaction here is that this person or these people take their money and give it to you in exchange for this thing that delivers value, right? So we want to, the whole goal of this business, the purpose for which it exists is to make that transaction happen as many times as you want it to happen. If you want to make a ton of money, you find people who have big pain, big desire, big money. And then you can make a lot of money serving a few people. If you want to make a ton of money, you find people that have pain, desire, and money, and a lot of them. And you can make a lot of money as long as you're delivering this thing, product, service, or program that has value and then wrap it in a really amazing experience so everybody wants to shout your praises from the rooftops. This little model right here will tell you everything about your business. If it's not very big or it's not growing, it's because one of these things is off. It's pretty simple. Here's the point though, okay? The point, I don't want to get off track. The point is money. Think of it as thank you notes, right? If we can make this transaction happen, deliver this thing that delivers amazing value to make that pain go away and make them happy, you wrap an experience so that it's like fun to go through or it's exciting to go through or it just doesn't suck to go through. Then when they give you the money's a thank you note. Now, oftentimes they give it to you up front. but it's in the anticipation of, yo, thank you for what you have promised that you're going to go do. Now just go do it. Naturally, I would want to have a ton of thank you notes. For me, that removed all head trash. And I was like, I'm on a mission to go get as many thank you notes as possible, because then I know that my business is doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, so that'd be one angle that might be helpful for some of you, to reframe how you think about earning money or earning lots of money. Think of it as thank you notes, and you just pin them up on the wall, except you're not going to pin the dollar bills up on the wall. So speaking of which, let's get to the next point. This is what I got from my buddy Taki, and he helped give me just a different lens. It wasn't like a total reframe, but it was a different lens to think about. I have money, and I'm going to go spend it. Or I'm going to go do something with it. And again, we could do so many videos just on this alone. But he's like, I like to think of money as fun tickets, and I love that. I love that concept. Sometimes I think we get way too in our head about the gravity or responsibility of the money. And ultimately, if we just kind of simplify life down, and I'm not saying be irresponsible, but I love the idea that as I get these thank you notes, those thank you notes are basically fun tickets. So I'm going to go out and create a ton of value with amazing experience to a bunch of people, so that I have a ton of fun, or a ton of thank you notes, and then those thank you notes I get to take to the bank or to the car dealership or to the airline or to the hotel chain, take my fun tickets or my thank you notes, and they're now fun tickets. Like, I get to go buy this really cool fun thing that I can do. And wouldn't it be amazing if my life could be filled with me spending fun tickets that are given to me by the people that my life and the business I created served, so that they gave me thank you notes? So I love the idea of, like, I'm going to go get a ton of thank you notes. Makes me feel good about my existence in the world. And then also, I'd like to have fun too. So I'm going to use those thank you notes as fun tickets to go create a life that is fun, that is amazing. So I love those two reframes. So hopefully in there, that just gives like for me what it did, I'll tell you what it did for me. For me, what it did is it lifted sort of this weight around money and everything else. It's like, no, it's really simple. Serve people, create amazing value, you get thank you notes. Use those thank you notes prudently, responsibly, but go have fun with your family, with your friends, with other people. It's really fun to serve other people. Just use your thank you notes as fun tickets. So I like that reframe. All right, the last thing I want to talk about as it relates to money, at least in this video, there'll probably be another one of these on money, but is the peace of mind aspect. Because a lot of times, and when I say a lot of times, by the way, what I mean is I've had this conversation with more than just me, and it was a big thing that I had to work through. So what I had to work through, and repeatedly, was chasing money so that it would give me peace and peace of mind. Like, it would calm down all the stuff that goes on inside here and here. And if that's not you, then man, you're lucky. So I was chasing money as peace of mind. And for the longest time, I was chasing how much money I had accumulated. I was chasing how much money I made, and then also how much I'd accumulated. Like, I just got to get to a number, and then like I can calm down. And then what I recognized actually was that peace of mind doesn't come from a dollar amount that you have set aside. It comes from your capacity to generate income. And maybe that's just for me, but what I realized, this is what I realized. As soon as I started to make some progress towards a sizable chunk of money, what I realized is, as soon as I get to this number that I keep telling myself that I'm supposed to have, the next, like that anxiousness or that energy about like, oh, is it going to be okay, shifts now to, well, how am I going to invest that money to be able to make the monthly income? And this was not like in one sitting. This was over, I don't know, I'm not going to tell you how long. It's kind of embarrassing. It might have been years. But anyway, over this time period, it dawned on me, look, you're chasing after something that you think really matters, but what actually will give you peace of mind, one, it can give you peace of mind today, and what you're actually looking for as far as like ultimate freedom is the income that you can make every single month. And maybe you have an investment that pays you for the year, and then that's what you live off, whatever. The point is that it's the income that matters, not the dollar amount. And I get that the big chunk of money can produce that, but if we're not careful, the same level of anxiousness about money, right, the opposite of the peace of mind, will just transition from my job or my business or my hustle or whatever to this chunk of money that now I've got to make sure I don't lose, and I got to make sure that it performs at a certain rate or whatever. So the only point of this last piece of peace of mind for me that I think is valuable to consider is it's not about some dollar amount, although there are benchmarks. So there's a benchmark of peace of mind that's like, all right, like I'm cool for 6 months or I'm cool for a year because I have that dollar amount. But I still have to go work to make money. And there's a peace of mind in that. Okay, so if peace of mind around money comes from the ability to generate income, then I should look at my own capacity to work and recognize that I don't have to worry because I can always work and make money. And if I'm not confident in myself to be able to work and make money, then I should go get the skills to be able to say, look, I'll be able to make whatever money I need. Okay. And then I have peace of mind. I don't have to worry about it. And then as I continue to work and generate extra income, I'm going to take that income and I'm going to be looking at how can I convert that income into its own source of income. So just one more quick drawing on the drawing board, and then we'll be done with this Word of the Week Wednesday. All right. So for me, I look at it like this. There's me. I can work. I can create income. Once it runs through all the filters, I have excess over here, right? The whole goal is, like, I can have peace of mind today immediately when I just stop. When I stop chasing the dream of, oh, I can't wait till I don't have to work. Okay, maybe, but I can have peace of mind while I chase that, right? Like that, the fact that I don't have to work is not where peace of mind comes from. That's where freedom comes from. Peace of mind is just stopping right now and be like, yo, I can go work and I can produce an income, so I can stop worrying about it, all right? Then what I do with my excess, so in this arrow is all my business expenses, personal expenses, whatever. This income is not where peace of mind comes from. It might be temporarily exciting, great. But peace of mind is when I can take now this excess. So peace of mind first comes in just recognizing I can work and make money. And if I have to, I'll work the rest of my life to make money and everything will be great, right? When I have this excess over here, I take this excess over here and I start to build a, what do we want to call it? We'll just call this the machine version of me. But I start to build this machine version of me, which is my money being able to create the income that I need to live on. So peace of mind is in this and it's in this. It's not in this. It's not in what this dollar amount is. It's in the fact that I know that I can work to make money. And then I get peace of mind multiplied by freedom because I've created enough cash flowing assets or whatever I'm doing with my money. I've got enough of these that are just running where I don't necessarily have to go work. And what I think you'll learn along that process, at least what I did, is that the goal is not to not work. You'll actually not be content. You'll actually get really annoyed. You're going to continue to work. You're going to continue to create value. But freedom is when you have something else that can generate the income without requiring you to be there. But it's not where peace of mind comes from. Okay. Anyway, that's the Word of the Week Wednesday. Money. Number one, think of it as thank you notes. Go get a lot of them, a ton of them. Then also realize that those thank you notes are fun tickets. Be responsible, put your money away, save, hit your buffer, all that stuff. But then look at your money as like, yo, this is so that I can have a fun life. So I'm going to create fun tickets and go use them, whether it's for me or for somebody else. I'm going to use the money as fun tickets. And then lastly, just recognize that peace of mind comes from the ability to produce income consistently, not from some arbitrary number that you think is the number to get to. And immediately you can have peace of mind when you recognize that you possess the ability to create income, and your life is still a great life. If you have to work your entire life to produce the income that you want, that's totally fine. And if you can be responsible with your money, maybe not overspend those fun tickets, to create your excess and then turn that into a machine that can make money for you, then you get peace of mind multiplied by freedom, which is really cool. But the freedom part is not where the peace of mind comes from. The peace of mind comes from recognizing you have the capacity to be able to cover whatever your monthly bills and expenses are all the time. That might just be you working. And if you can get to the point where it's freedom also in there, bonus. That's really, really cool. All right, that's it. If you liked the video, if you enjoyed the content, like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. There's also a link in here. I've got a smooth scaling newsletter you can opt into. If you want to check that out, there's a link in there for that. And then we got some other videos, other episodes of Word of the Week Wednesday, so check those out. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, insights, takeaways, things you're like, I don't know if I agree with that. I'd love to hear all of that. Drop it in the comments down below. And that's what I got. I will catch you on the next video. All right, peace.